This is no refunds on normal and hard. Yep, so on higher difficulties, you definitely want to do a lot of drawing back in this quest.
Please turn back. Vaunt Arcano-Technic is dealing with a security problem inside this store. For your own
A lot of times what I'll do is,
safety,
on
neither
higher
Media
difficulties,
will
is
face
start
consequences.
kind of going up a little bit and
The
drawing
entrance
stuff
is
off
blocked by a magic field projected by a modified
sort of,
version of Vaunt's arcane assistant. Open a door to the Sky Coach dock, Zolus.
that's sort of loose.
They'll capture
And then usually
that
I'll get
fractious
some
wizard any moment now.
enemies
We'll
on
be
normal. There's
departing
no
shortly.
reapers, so there's not going to be as much aggro. So I'm just going to just kind of circle around and not do all that drawing back, but I will when I do my Reaper run at 30, and maybe even the Elite run at 20, or in the 21 or 2021, around there. Alright, so you can see that Spellbinder came. So I didn't attract too much, but I did attract a couple. On higher difficulty, there's a lot more mobs, so you end up attracting a lot more and kind of clearing them out of the way before you circle around. So this area might have a crest, and the way you can tell, so you can see, just hit the Q button, you can see the crest is there. So if there's no crest, you can just skip this area entirely. But if you find the crest with a Q button, you'll need to hit it. And there's a lot fewer enemies on normal, but on higher difficulties, there's more enemies here. So we got 2 crests from the bottom, and we'll probably find the other 2 up top. Something's trying to shoot me over there, I see. Sometimes it's right there, but usually when it's there, it's also guarded by some constructs. Alright, again, I'm just going to circle around clockwise. And wherever the crest is, like right here, it's usually guarded by a mob. So that's 3 crests. And let's find the next one. And a lot of times with the Q, hitting the Q button, you could locate it a little bit easier. But you should also just find it by circling around. It's pretty hard to miss, except for that one behind the door, because it's usually with a mob, usually like in a corner, like here. Or here, up there's... And so that mob, I think, is the mob that attacked me in the hallway. So that's all 4. So we can just jump down now. And... go to the next section.
security force. The gnome fits the description of the informant you were sent to find.
All right, so that's just, again, if you've if you've been watching any of the last few levels of, it seems like there's a lot of lag. There's really not a lot of lag in this game, but what's happened is the last few days there's an issue with the data center that they're trying to figure out, and possibly related to some global internet traffic challenges that a lot of companies are facing, and so there's a little more than usual. It hasn't been too bad today. That's the first thing I've encountered, and it was very short. But it's been more than usual the last few days, so I don't want you to get the impression that that's how this game usually is, because it's, at least in my experience, it's certainly not. All right, so now we just we have the key, so we just take the ramp up.
A small card by the door reads Huslov Noller, store manager. The door is securely locked.
And then we have a puzzle here.
You'll need
There's
a key to get in.
a couple different solutions
You unlock the door
possible,
using the key to the manager's
but they're all pretty
office.
straightforward. This one's very straightforward. Alright, so once that's done, we can go to the end fight, which is right here. We'll have a few constructs to deal with.
The Radiant Idol calls
And
out
this
to
could
you
be a
as
pretty
you
tough
follow
fight.
the Sky Coach.
So,
Outlander, you can't just blunder around.
so if you get these before they,
Matter of the city won't
they'll activate on their own, but the fight's a lot easier if you get them early when they're not taking you by surprise.
I leave these barbarians to you, my dear. Give them a lesson in civilized behavior. The Sky Coach flies off.
Looks like
and
I
the
didn't
lone
do the very
remaining
first
Vault
thing. I
security
should be able to loot
springs
the
to
chest, though.
attack. With the battle won, you search the Sky Coach dock and immediately spot the notebook you've been looking for.
So I never did the
Surely
easiest
it
thing
contains
here, which is
evidence
speak with the
that
store
will incriminate
manager,
Vaughn.
which is right in the front. That should be no problem. I'll just jump down and talk to him, and that should complete the quest.
The manager says that Vaughn's security detail has kidnapped the informant you were supposed to meet. They're probably holding him somewhere inside the store.
I'm going to get my inner word and go right back in on hard. And as soon as I take this, a bunch of other quests like that one there will open up for me. And I'm just going to grab something to break down for essences and head right back in. On hard.
An imposing figure motions for you to stop. Please turn back. Vaunt Arcano-Technic is dealing with a security problem inside this store. For your own safety, leave immediately or face the consequences. The entrance is blocked by a magic field, projected by a modified version of Vaunt's arcane assistant. The manager says that Vaunt's security detail is kidnapped the informant you were supposed to meet. Open the door to the Sky Coach Circus. They'll capture that fractious wizard any moment now. We'll be departing shortly.
there's the first crest, guarded by that mob. There's the second crest, guarded by this mob. And then just hit Q here and see if there's a crest. No crest, sign and door only. So we just skip that whole room. And I'll open this barrier, which has to be open from this side. And then head up to the next level. There's usually two down and two up, but I've actually seen it where it's split 3-1 both way, either way. But normally it's 2 up and 2 down. I'll just go clockwise again. A lot of collectibles in here, which I love. And that's all 4 crusts. Yeah, the Vaunt guards are the worst. I always, if there's a champion, I'm always going to use my Holy Retribution on the guard.
Small figure cowers in the corner, menaced by home security force. No one fits the description of the informant you were sent to find. A small card by the door reads Huslov Nomer, store manager. The door is securely locked. You'll need a key to get in. You unlock the door using the key to the manager's office. The Radiant Idol calls out to you as he climbs aboard the waiting sky coach. This is not a jungle, Outlander. You can't just blunder around like things. People who matter in this city won't tolerate riots in their shops or attacks on important citizens. I leave these barbarians to you, my dear. Give them a lesson in civilized behavior. The sky coach flies off, and the lone remaining Vaunt security officer springs to the attack. With the battle won, you search the sky coach dock and immediately spot the notebook you've been looking for. Surely it contains evidence that will incriminate Vaunt.
That'd have been perfect if it was Vitality Death Block. Actually, though, did Vitality Acid Resistance? I'm going to pick it up because I know I want a Vitality item with my level 20 gear. And that's really better than any other Vitality item I've seen. So I'm going to lock it so I don't actually break it down. And I'll just keep it, and see what when I get my level 21 gear set, I'll kind of see where I'm at and whether it makes sense to keep it or not. So that is no refunds on normal and hard.